be alive. Miss Arnold, that was this lazy man. He woke up from a good night's sleep. And he had this friend who was a king, so he went to go visit the king. When he get to the king, he said, King, everywhere I go, when I try to apply for a job, they say that I can't do nothing on time. He said, King, all of my enemies have just told everybody that I never do anything on time. Somebody say on time. So the king said, let's make a deal. Let me get some things in order. And you go home and you come back before the sun set. And I'm going to give you the opportunity to get some of my treasure, get all the golds and pearls that you can. The man eagerly went home to tell his wife the good news. And she said, honey, what you waiting on? Because gold is time. The time just for you. He said, babe, I'm going to go, but I need a little time. I need to catch me a little lunch. So she fixed him lunch. And Miss Bolton, after he finished eating lunch, he said, I need to take a little nap. So he slept for about 3 hours. He gets a couple bags to go to the king to get the treasure. On his way there, Shirley, he gets a little hot. He says, hot out here. And so he decided to lay next to a tree to get some rest. And he slept for another 5 hours. Then he gets up on his way to the king's palace. The sun had already set and it was late in the evening. So the gates of the palace was closed. Before he can get in there, he lost his golden opportunity because he didn't know the value of time. Today I want to talk to you about using your time wisely. So many opportunities are lost in our life just because we don't want to honor time. And Paul was talking to the people of Ephesus, and he's commanding them that this thing is very, very important. Paul said in Ephesians 5:15 through 17, he said, look carefully, then how you what? Walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of what? Because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be a fool, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Use your time wisely. There's an old saying that time waits on no one. Now, we all know that time flies. But the good news is you are the pilot. The way you use your time, it dictates the kind of life that you're going to have. We all have 24 hours in a day, 86,000 seconds. And so the way that you use your time today determines your future. The old folks used to say, you don't just spend time, you invest it. I'm going to say it again. No one should be wasting your time because you are investing your time. That means that you're putting something into it to get something out of it. We think that we have all of this time, and Paul is saying that we should take each time as a precious gift from the Lord. If you look over your life, ask yourself, are you wasting time? If you want to know, let me give you a little time test. Go in your phones and hit settings and hit time screen. And it'll tell you how many hours per day what you're doing. I'm going to put it on the bottom shelf for you. It'll let you know if you're on Facebook. It'll let you know how many hours you're on YouTube. It'll let you know how many hours you're on the adult website. It'll let you know all those things. The kids in here, I want to be, you know what I'm saying? But how much time you use? You got 8 hours on social media, 8 hours on Pinterest, 8 hours on this, 8 hours on that, and then you wonder why I don't have nothing in life. It's how you use your time. I want each and every person, I didn't realize how much time I was wasting. When I hit screen time, I'm like, wow, that's a confession right there. That's a reality check for all of us. How much time do we actually waste each and every day? And God is saying, you need to use your time wisely because you don't know how long you're going to be here. Seen an incident last month. My homeboy sitting on the couch playing go through the living room. Who could have thought of that right there? I got friends who's on the couch and 4 shots and they're not here no more. Good people that I played with and he didn't bother nobody. I know some good people that are not here. What I'm saying, tomorrow is not promised to none of us. I had a revelation yesterday, Ms. Keisha. I said, I'm going to start, you know what, I was doing this sermon about time management. I'm going to spend some time with some older members in my family. COVID, we ain't seen each other. I'm going to make sure I make a trip by their house. When I said that, look how the Lord worked. My auntie, 90 years old, Ella Mae Hardaway, done FaceTime me. I'm like, is this the devil? Me and my wife on the couch watching the movie, I hit pause. I was like, is this my auntie? And I hit the button and it was my auntie. Boy, what you doing? You running for council? What are you going to do? You know she just said, I'm proud of you. I just had to call and I just want to spend a little time with you today. I'm like, wow. While I was talking about it, she was being about it. You never know. Now, if a 90-year-old, beautiful woman can figure out a way to spend time with her nephew, surely we can figure out how to spend quality time in our lives. 90 years old, I'm FaceTime me. I'm like shocked. How much time do you waste? And Paul is saying, use your time wisely. So we've been going through this series for those who are new in here. We've been going through the dangers of unity. Paul talked about your anger would disrupt unity. He talks about your mouth would disrupt unity. He talked about greed. Last week he said, if you discontent, you are dishonor to God. Live in contentment. And he goes on and on and on. And he said, bitterness would disrupt unity. All those things. And today he said, you know what? You need to use your time wisely because you know what? You wouldn't be getting to all this mess if you was handling your business. I'm going to say it again. See, when you get you some business, you won't be in everybody else's business, right? He said, use your time what? Wisely. I hear folks all the time, do you hear about this and that? And no, I didn't. Because I'm trying to use my time wisely and do the will of God. And then Paul is saying the same thing with us. We wouldn't have this disunity if you were using your time wisely. I'm going to go on again. This is what he said. He said, use your time wisely. And then when you do, you're going to walk correctly. Let me give you the verse right here. This is what he said. You're going to walk correctly. This is what he said. He said, look, right, carefully, then how you walk, not as who? But as wise. He said, when you're walking around in your life, you need to be looking around. How about y'all? When you walk outside your front door, don't you look down to make sure there's no snake on the ground? I ain't never seen a snake, but when you open that door to go outside, you done seen enough of them on Facebook. You ain't got no evidence ever. You look down. And he said, the people in your life, you need to look down and look around and see what you're dealing with. We have to be careful on how we walk through this life. And Paul is saying, look, when you honor God, when you live a life that's worthy, he's saying you need to walk correctly. There's certain things we shouldn't be doing as a believer. We should be walking as the wise and not the unwise. There's 2 types of walks. There's the walk of the fool and the walk of the wise. You see, the fool just wake up with no plan, no purpose. What we gonna do today? I ain't got nothing to do. I'm so bored, just bobblehead, just existed. And Paul is saying you gotta have a purpose and a plan. The wise is not like that. And the fool is like the one, you ever seen a trash bag that's in the wind, it just whichever way the wind blow, it just whichever way it blow. But man, the wise is like an arrow and it's pointed and it's shooting to that direct destination. And Paul said your life should be just like the same as a wise man looking around and making sure that you're headed in that right direction. Don't wake up and saying you don't have nothing to do, I'm bored. You got plenty to do, plenty of books to read. Find out a recipe to cook. Find out how to travel this and how to do. There's so many things that we can be doing and using. How about helping somebody in need that you really know? How about going to pick up an old person that you ain't seen in a while and go get some ice cream? And how about picking this kid up, taking him to a game or something like that? There's so much we can do. Use it wisely. And Paul is saying we must do that. Let's look at Ephesians 4 and 1. He also said in Ephesians 4, he said, therefore, he said, the prison of the Lord. He said, I beseech you, right, that ye walk what? Worthy of your vocation wherewith you are called. All the time, people be calling you to do various things, but that may not be your vocation or your calling. It may be a good idea, but it's not a God idea for your life. And we have to understand that Paul is saying we're going to have to walk correctly because you are doing this. That don't mean I need to be doing this. I got to walk correctly for the will of God for my life. That was the story of this guy, and this guy was something serious. He's out there. He's in his cabin. Evan, you just came in, all right? He in his cabin. That's my homeboy. We go 30 years back. But he's at this cabin, D.P. Cooper. He's taking a nap from a long day, and the Lord appeared. The Lord said, I got work for you to do. The Lord told him to go out there, and I want you to push this rock. The man was obedient. He went out day and night, pushing the rock, day and night, pushing. After so long, he got discouraged because the rock has not moved a budge. So the devil creeps in. So you've been pushing all this time. You ain't moved that rock. Things are not moving in your life. Things are not progressing in your life. And he got discouraged. And he started to do like that. The devil said, why are you killing yourself doing all this? Just relax. He thought about it for a minute, but he said, I decided to pray. The man began to pray. And Lord, I'm pushing every day and nothing has happened in my life. Lord, I'm pushing every day and the devil say I'm a failure. Lord, I'm pushing every day and things are not going right. There's no movement in my life. The Lord appeared again and said, man, I told you to push the rock. He said, your job was to push and to push. He said, you see now, since you've been pushing, that your arms are built with massive muscles and enlarged with much more strength. He said, you see, since you're pushing, your back can withstand more and it's built up with muscles also. He said, you see, since you've been pushing, your legs are massive and now you're stronger than you've ever been before. He said, my son, your job was to push and be obedient. Now, me, the Lord, I will move the rock. I know that's not good English, but what I'm saying to you, sometimes when we be doing things and doing the walking the vocation that God has for us, he didn't tell you not one time that you're going to move the mountain. God told you to push the mountain. He never told you that you're going to have the money for school. He told you to go to school. He told you that you need to do some things in your life, and God will show up and show out. Sometimes you just got to pray. The old folks say pray till something happens. You just got to put your hand together and say, thank you, God. I'm just going to do your will even though it don't look good. We just have to pray and push. Got to push. I get excited every time I think about that. I just want to push. Anybody ready to just push? I just ready to be obedient. That's good news. Hey, when things are looking wrong, you just what? You just got to keep pushing. When people turn against you, Mr. Stewart, you just got to keep pushing. When your money look funny, you just got to keep pushing. Is there anybody here that can relate that God will move mountains? He moved those mountains. Talking to somebody discouraged about your time right now, you want to be farther along, you just keep pushing. You want it to happen right now, you just keep pushing. That marriage may be getting tough. You just keep pushing. Life getting tough. You just keep pushing. When you keep pushing and you keep doing the right thing, God moves mountains in your life. You see, pushing this mountain or pushing this rock was him walking correctly for his life. And when you do that, then you will have the wisdom to witness constantly. Come on now, love. You will be able to witness constantly. When you're pushing and you're walking the will of your life, other folks going to see you and you're going to be a witness. Come on now, beloved. Because your spiritual talk is lining up with your spiritual walk. You are inspiration to other people. They can witness that you're a child of God. But sometimes we don't be that witness of God because you're at the stop sign. When they cuss you out, you cuss them out too. That's not a witness. Come on now. When your in-laws say some bad thing to you, don't be saying no bad thing to them. You're not a witness of God. Is there anybody have not been a witness this year? Okay, all right. Sometimes we're not that witness, but when we do the will of God, when we forgive that person that wronged us, we'll witness. We'll witness. And Paul is saying, man, you must do those things and witness to these people because you are that beacon of light. Let's look at Ephesians 5:16. He said, look, you're a witness when you're not on Facebook all day and knowing everybody's business and they got no business. He said you're a witness when you can keep your mouth off somebody else, start talking about them and what they doing, and you figure out what you're doing. You're a witness when you get yourself some business and you get out of everybody else's business, right? He's saying you're a witness when you're making the best use of your time. Making the best use of the time. See, he can't say your time because it's God's time. Of the time, that means that's a gift. I'm going to put it on the bottom shelf, right? You see, a gift is something that's given to you. You see, the old folks always say the past is what? History. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is the present. When you get that present for Easter, that present for Christmas, that's a gift. And if you're here right now, that's a present. And so why you ain't smiling? Because it's a present. He said, make the best use of the time, which is the Lord's time, because the days are what? Evil. And then look at Ephesians 5:16. I'm gonna give it to you, the King James version. This is Bassfield when we didn't have nothing else, one version. The King James version right here. It said it went deeper. I remember this verse. It says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. The word redeeming means to buy back. It means to rescue that time. And I don't know about you, might have been wasting a lot of time, but today could be your day that you can redeem your time. Today could be your day that you make your mind up. I'm going to look at my screen time on my phone and I'll make better use of my time. Today may be the day you can put some tracking devices on your phone and say, I'm going to limit myself from doing this right here. He said redeeming the time because when you lose focus, you lose time. Who wants to have a life and just walking through life existing? I want to have a purpose for life. I got a friend, he retired recently, and he was doing good, didn't need no money. He said, I'm going to start working at Walmart, man, just witness to people. He didn't need the money. He just liked to witness to people. He said, I just can't sit here and waste the rest of my 30 years I got left. Yeah. He did some good things to be in a financial position, but he said, I got to have some purpose in life. Because when he didn't have, he said, I can fish and golf so much, but I want to do something that's purposeful for my life, do my vocation. And God wants us to do that. And when you redeem your time, you invest in your time, and you're going to do the will of God. But man, when you waste your time, how about this when you waste other people's time? How many people made your mind up, you ain't going to waste my time? You ain't going to waste my time. Now, I had to go to Kevin Gates on this. Now, I normally don't use Kevin Gates for a Bible reference, but I've learned in my life when I waste my time over the years and why this didn't work out, why this relationship didn't work out, in all areas of my life, why these friendships didn't work out, or why I didn't get this job, whatever it is in my life, when it didn't work out, I've learned this phrase right here, and this is a good one right here. Check it out. It says, disrespect is all the closer that you need. Some of y'all missed that. Some of y'all missed that. Some of y'all missing that. They're saying one thing. Okay, let me go back to the 80s. Remember the group Today? And do you want him or me? Him or me? Say, ooh, girl, do you want him or do you want me? Tell me, baby. Yeah. Hey, who remember that song? And what I'm saying is he or she could be wasting your time. And whatever that disrespect, that's all the closure that you need. Sometimes we want to go back and see what happened and all that. The disrespect is all that you need. Redeem your time. Redeem your time. I used to give other people the choice. What you going to do and all that. And I see you wasting my time is what I going to do. Now, that's good English right there. It's what I going to do. I'm going to stop you from wasting my time. And we have to do that because this time, we never know how much time we have. Let's look at John 9:4. It says, as long as it is what day, we must do the work of him who's what? Who sent you? The Lord, right? Nighttime is what? When your eyes ain't open no more, right? When no one can do what? Man, when you're a good steward of your time, that's a characteristic of your faith. You are telling God right now, you have given me this day, but there's going to come a time, going to be a nighttime, that neither one of us can work. And we have to understand that we must use the best use of our time. The best use of our time. I know the average guy lived to be 75. Somebody said 77. But I'm 48. I'm in the third quarter. Based on stats. If you're 38, 39, you're in the second half. You had time for you right now. In the 20s, you might be going to the second quarter. So what I'm saying is, time, it ain't that much time. I know it's bad to look at it like that, but it's true. That's the truth. That's the truth. And so we got to make sure that we don't let Satan ruin our time. That was the story of Satan. He held this worldwide convention, and all of his evil angels were eager. And Satan said to them at this convention, it was called Hellapalooza. I had to give it a name. So I heard of Lavapalooza, I guess Hellapalooza, you know what I'm saying? he teaching hell, right? Everything. So, but Satan was teaching all of his evil angels. He said, we cannot stop the Christians from going to church. That's for the pandemic album, you know what I'm saying? So, and people watching TV now. If God meant for you to stay home and watch church on the 8th day, he would have invented Zoom, right? But back to the devil. Back to the devil. So he said to all of them, he said, we can't keep them from going to church. We can't keep them from believing in God. But what we can do is come up with a defense and keep them busy. He said, what we can do is make sure their electrical devices are always heating up and they always checking their phone. What we can do is making sure that when they get home, every show that they want to watch is on. What we can do is get them distracted to go to all these different events. What we can do is get them so busy that they forget about God. We can send them to the movies. We can send them to the mountains. We can send them to sporting events. Sporting events may not be that bad because Drew Brees retired, so the Saints going to be doing a lot of praying this year. But he said we can get them going to all the different things and get them busy, and they take their eyes on what God has called them to do. Beloved, I want to tell you this right here. In your life, there's going to always be something. Satan, after he talked to his eager angels, they was ready to go out and get every believer busy and get them away from the will of God. I want to encourage you today, don't let Satan get you so busy that you forget to spend time with God. Don't let Satan get you so busy that you forget to come to church. Don't let Satan get you so busy that you forget to honor God who gave you your life and your breath. His evil angels are out there working. And this is what Satan's doing. He's working overtime. He's working so hard, and he's so busy. Have Satan been busy in anybody's life this week? Have Satan been just have his angels out there? He dispersed them out there to do some things in your life. Paul's saying, don't get distracted. Don't get distracted, and use your time wisely. When you use your time wisely, you walk correctly. And that will allow you to witness constantly. And third but not least, you will constantly. Okay, come on. You will be constantly having a will to keep going. Because when you look back over your life, Alvin, you realize God keep blessing me, and that gives me the will to constantly keep going forward. When you look over your life, you see, you know what? He worked that out last time, and God gonna work this thing out this time. You keep looking back and say, God been so good. I know I can't pay it, but God is faithful. He didn't leave me here for nothing. Is there anybody who can testify that God will work it out? It gives you the will when it don't add up. It gives you the will when it don't look good. Because I know that the will of God will be done. And I can will constantly. The Bible says in Ephesians 3:17, Paul said, therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. What's the will of the Lord for your life? Are you wasting time? Or you like the guy at the rock? I can't move it. That wasn't your assignment. Your assignment was to push. Colossians 4:5, it says, live wisely among those who are not believers and make the most of what kind of opportunity? I'm not glad it's my night, but what she say? I'm going to make the best of a bad situation. Somebody need that song right there. If you don't know it, just go type it on YouTube. Gladys Knight. I'm going to make the best of a bad situation. Colossians 4 and 5, last verse. We're going to get it in. He said, walk in wisdom. Towards who? Making the best use of our time. Yes, you walk in God's will, but his angels are acting a fool. But that's not your assignment. He said you need to walk in wisdom towards these fools. He said that you have to walk in wisdom because that's your assignment. People are going to try to get you off course. Every time you try to say, you're going to have somebody come call you, I need help. And you know what? My cup ain't run over right now. I'm just keep praying for you. Sometimes you say you're going to be nice today and somebody just act the fool and cuss you out. Lord, they try to make me go back. But that's not your will. Your will is to act up. Somebody going to be pestering you, asking you the same question. Oh, I done answered it 5 times now. But it's your job to walk in wisdom toward the outside, the unbeliever. Because the devil is sending his angels out there to get things started. It was 17 years ago. This young lady named Synovia Burns, I was in Jackson, Mississippi. She went to her doctor, and she had heard that another young lady was about to have a baby within the next few days. The pregnant mother had decided that she didn't want the baby and was going to put the baby into the system. Synovia heard about it. She got in contact with her and said, I want to do the will of God. It's been on my heart to take this baby. Synovia in her early 20s consulted ministry leaders, consulted other people that she knew, and they all told her that you are a single lady, ain't got no man, you don't make much money, your money funny, you just bought a house, things don't add up for you. You need to leave that baby where she is. Synovia took that advice, prayed about it, said the Lord told me to take this baby in. She only had a couple days. Process went quick. She adopted this baby named Haley. People heard about Synovia's situation. Don't you know people came from everywhere? This baby got many aunties and uncles. This baby done went through private schools. This baby living a good life. This baby has been a blessing. And Synovia has moved up in her career. And she's doing extremely well. The baby's 17 years old. I can remember a little baby with a little hair count all over the place. I ain't want to say nothing bad, you know what I'm saying? God knows something, you know what I'm saying? Hair wasn't growing in certain places, a little baby like that. Synovia posted a picture of baby Haley, who's 17 now. And Haley is a beautiful young lady. Come on now. Haley applied for some colleges. Every school Miss Cooper she applied for accepted her. And the one that she didn't apply for called and accepted her too. Come on now. I'm going somewhere with this. The girl that nobody wanted, now everybody want her. Mike Jones, back then you didn't want me, but now you all up on. Come on now. See. She's on fire. Here's my point. Had Synovia not listened to the will of God, where would that baby have been today? I want you today, for your life, to trust the will of God for your life. When the money don't add up, trust the will of God. When people say you can't, trust the will of God. When God called you, it wasn't a conference call. He called you. Make sure you trust the will of God. I need at least 3 saints. I'm number 4 that has made their mind up that you're going to trust the will of God for your life. Trust the will of God. Girl ain't missed a beat. Went to private schools, the best schools in Jackson. The mama didn't have it, but aunties and uncles all over the city got it. You see what I'm saying? And now she moved up. He works it out. He works it out. So you just do the will of God and just use your time wisely. And when you use your time wisely, you're going to understand the word of Paul and you're going to walk correctly. And when you walk correctly, you are going to be a witness constantly. It's going to inspire other folks to see how you walk it. Why Miss Keisha ain't walking around worried because she got the will of God in her life? Why she ain't walking around here crying because she got the will of God? Why she putting up the bad kids at her job and she loves them so much? Because it's the will of God for her life. Witness. Witness. And once you witness constantly, you can always have to look back and refer to it. And you can will constantly. And that gives you the mojo for your life. So I know this message was about Paul saying, use your time wisely. Just think of your life today. Where have I been wasting time? And where can I, in my areas, where can I change some things to make the best use of my time to do his will? And I promise you, when you do his will, not only will he show up, he's going to show out. If you receive the message, let's give God a hand clap of praise. We hope you enjoyed the message today. It is now time for Tithes and Offering. There are 3 ways to give. You can use our CashApp at the bottom of the screen. You can also text, and it's at the bottom of the screen. Or if you would like, we have a Dropbox here at the church where you can drop off your giving. Now, if something was said today that moved you and you want to give your life to Christ, we would like for you to call us at 601-408-7156. We want to talk to you about your decision today.